season, and we're on a high note as you look down at Pro Players Stadium, the home of the Dolphins, as they entertain the Dallas Cowboys in this much anticipated battle. This has been talked about since last April when the schedule first came out. Jimmy Johnson, in fact, the Dolphin coach, said, I put a circle around October the 27th. Everybody's been looking forward to this. Jimmy, Jerry, Barry, what kind of reception will they get? Here is what happened when Jimmy Johnson came out. And then when Jerry Jones came out, followed by microphones, cameras, print media, everybody. The ballyhoo has really been what we expected it to be. But would they speak to each other, Jimmy and Jerry? First, Jerry arrived and talked to the owner, Wayne Huizenga of the Dolphins. And then he and Jimmy Johnson touched hands. So that much is over. They did shake hands, but it was only a touch. I'm Pat Summerall here with John Madden. And, John, what about all the ballyhoo? Are you glad it's over?
I'm just glad that part of the ballyhoo is over. I mean, it has nothing to do, and that's all they've been talking about is Jimmy and Jerry, and Jimmy and Jerry aren't going to play. I mean, their time, they had that in the pregame show, they had that in the pregame, but from now on, it's going to be about players. And I think the ironic thing was when you had all those cameramen and those photographers flopping all over each other when those two came out, two of the great players walked out in the field unnoticed, Dan Marino and Troy Aikman, and that's what the game's going to be about.
And what Dan Marino brings to this Dolphin team is almost indescribable.
Well, you know, that's what we were talking to Jimmy Johnson about. He said when he came here, and he knew Dan Marino was a great quarterback, one of the all-time great quarterbacks, he said, but he didn't know the impact that he had on this team. And he said he not only has the impact, you know, on the offense, he gets in the huddle and he calls the plays and it's a different offense, but also the defense, the special teams, this entire team is really about Dan Marino.
What is the state of the Dallas Cowboys? They're the world champions. Are they now?
Well, no. I mean, they haven't played like the world champions since the last Super Bowl. They need more consistency. I think their offense needs some big plays. I think their defense is going to get a big lift today because they get Charles Haley back. And with a quarterback like Dan Marino, you need the extra pass rush that they'll get from Haley.
Mark Tournay says he's going to give it a try. He's been out of practice almost all week. But the stage is set, and we'll be back with today's game between the Dolphins and the Cowboys in a moment. As you would expect, a packed house as the Cowboys get ready to face the Dolphins. Miami's won the toss. They'll be on offense first, and we'll have a look at Dan Marino and the effect that John Madden was talking about a minute ago, what he does for this Miami offensive unit.